go to our settings. I am playing on the PlayStation 5. We have our sensitivity set at 100. We have our focus cam as the R1 button. The camera zoom is X. And the rear camera as 4. Here's the other general camera settings. Alright, let's go to my favorite chaser right here. We are playing a chaser on a 6-4-0 build. This will be classified as a lead chaser role. 6-4-0. So 6 on the top, 4 on the bottom here, and 0 on the bottom. 4 in the middle, 0 on the bottom. There are different types of chasers in the games, guys. Today's video will focus mostly on the lead chaser, but to quickly go over it, there are 3 types of chasers in my opinion. There are lead chasers, there are support chasers, and there are strike chasers. Strike, like hitting someone. Basically, the more down here they have, the more of a strike chaser they are. While a lead chaser will be mostly the person who scores a lot. I am also flying on a Nimbus for this demonstration. My favorite broom in the game for a chaser. However, there are many other options, but chaser, I believe the Nimbus is a really good fit. Alright. Now let's go to the pitch. Okay, here we are on the pitch here. Chaser is a very, very important role, guys. And I feel like a lot of times, new players struggle with this role because they don't have information, so we're gonna go over it, okay? Here's the first thing here I wanna point out. When I'm playing against new chasers, the most common thing I see is this. Basically a very basic shot that shows exactly what they're doing way ahead of time. It is very easy for the keeper to predict. So we're going to go over some things about that. Alright. When it comes to playing chaser, it is important to score, but it's also important to mix up your style of approach. Most high-level chasers will do something a little different before they score. Here's a common one. We call that the flick and swish for this video, okay? Basically, you approach one goal, and you flip and hit the other one. You show that from a different perspective. Alright, now we'll go to the left goal. So I'm pretending to go to the right goal. Oop, I went through, but I think you get the point there. You basically want to pretend you're going to one goal, and you can hit the next. Or you can hit the above one. Right, that's a common shot you'll see with most upper level chasers. However, there's some other shots you can try too to add to your repertoire. Whoops, there it is. I'm gonna demonstrate a few of them here. Also, I mentioned the camera. I like having my camera zoomed out like this. But some people have their camera like this. I think this is better. You can find that in the options. Anyway, how about this? A little bit of a wiggle. Split. And that is a very popular style. So it's kind of like the last one before. However, we're adding a little bit of a extra twist to it. So here we are, we're going. We start doing some weird movement. The best way to practice that, besides the flip mechanic here, boost and just start, you know, anything like that helps confuse the keeper and allow you to get a shot in. Let's show some more, okay? Some things you can add to your repertoire. So remember, you move like this. How about this? Let's do a spiral. You can do that. Or you can hit any of their goals doing the same thing. Let me get a little closer this time. Move this way. Spiral. Notice how I flipped down the last second? Basically, you want to just add some erratic movement a little bit to your approach. It really confuses the keeper. And it helps secure some scores. Now, some keepers will be aware of that. So we can do something what I call an inverted swish and flick. So remember how we were going forward like this, and then when we got to it, we flipped to the other goal instead? What if we did an inverted version of that? So let's say I want to go after the left goal, and instead of flipping to the left at the last second, watch this here. Here we go. Oh, it's the left one here, okay? There it is. So basically, you flip away, but you're still pointing the camera at the original goal. So what that means is the keeper thinks you're going to the opposite goal when you stayed on the original goal there. Alright, little inversion. There it is, that's more proper. So basically, when I went to flip to the left, right, they were expecting me to go here. But my camera was still pointed here, right? And so that catch the keeper off guard. Let's see here. Another one I see a lot is people do long shots. That's very helpful. But what if I told you can do this? See how I used the drift here? And I was able to line up a shot? That helps so you can pick more than one. That takes some time and practice. It's not my best, but it helps. So instead of doing, just going straight forward and just doing this, right? You can add a drift to it. So let's do this. Oops. I messed it up, but you get the idea. My point is that you don't want to make your approach too obvious. So now I'm just going to practice some quick shots for you. And we'll move on, okay? How's that? A little spin there at the last second. Do it again here. There it is. But basically what I'm saying is you want to get more creative with how you score, guys. So just try to think outside the box. I always, if I'm by myself, I always like to add some wiggle movement. You can't keep, look at that, to keep the keeper guessing. One of my newest shot patterns I came up with, to show you this real fast, is adding drift in that little scenario. So we're gonna drift like this. So same thing, a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of a drift. Is very, very useful. Against high-level keepers, they'll usually be able to handle most of what I'm showing you. However, these same tricks can also work against them as well. You can also just try long shots, you know. I'm not great at them, but you get the idea. Alright. I also want to talk about some one-timers. Alright. So when it comes to doing one-timers, you want to make sure you got position set up for it. So pass to your ally here. Oop. And the one-timer button I have it set up as O on my controller here. It is an ability for this build here. The key is you want to be able to find yourself in a good position for it. Most people will do it from the sides like this. Right? Hitting the furthest one away. You can do it from this side. Or this angle. Right? You can also go for the top if need be. And go down. And you can always also do the one directly in front, but most people will go for the... There it is. Most people will go for the furthest one away, or even the top one there. You can do it from above. Oops, missed it. So the important part with that is that you want to try to get set up before you do it. So what I like to do is, in 3v3, it works very powerful in 3v3. But I usually will fly towards the goal here. I will pass it and I'll go right for the one-timer. If I have it. Pass. And see how quick that was? The AI in 3v3 will always pass it back immediately. So it gives you a chance to get it set up early. There it goes. I don't know where you went here. But basically, you want to get creative when you're approached. So if your normal shots aren't working, maybe do a one-timer. We'll do that. Try to get creative about how you approach it, okay? Another thing I want to talk about that I noticed a lot in 3v3, especially with new players, is the lack of passing. A lot of players I come across that I play against, that I dominate on, tend to not pass the ball almost ever. Right? They almost never pass the ball. What ends up happening, a lot of times what ends up happening, is that they'll just try to carry it from one side to the next. Right? So we'll pass the ball here. The keeper will pass them the ball, and they'll try to, by themselves, travel all the way. Look at my blue bar go down. See that? Now, what if I wanted to go back? So when there's chasers in front or beside them, they get past the ball, right? But oftentimes they go in a straight line like this, and all they're doing is lining themselves up perfectly for a beater or an enemy chaser to tackle them outside of their view. So guys, make sure you use your teammates to help you. Sometimes it's important to just pass the ball to somebody who can score or who's in a better spot. Make sure you pass the ball and also be in a good position to receive a pass. So instead of flying directly behind somebody, maybe consider flying, like, see how they're flying to my right and left the clock here? And they're available? But if they're directly behind me, right? Who am I going to pass it to when I need to pass it, you know? So both of these chasers are in a good spot to receive a pass. So make sure you utilize that, okay? Do not think that you can just rush through every chaser and a beater and then think you can make the shot. Very few chasers can do that. And it's not worth bringing on the whole team, you know? About is tackles. It's really important to learn how to tackle against a chaser. The most common thing I see people will do is just try to, like, attack them head on. When you can do this, you can do that, but you can also tackle from different angles. A common position people take is above like this. And they grab the ball. Let's try that again from the side. I'll rush over. You got it. Now the benefit of that is that they can't really see you coming from the side. So instead of attacking directly in front, you're basically attacking in their blind spot. So it's hard to see when someone's coming up from the sides or below outside of camera. Look at this, see? There you go. If you'll notice when you play in 3v3, you'll see chasers hide up here because they know how to attack you outside of your angle of viewpoint here, your field of view. You can also, you'll see people will sometimes hide like this, waiting for you to come by directly from the side. So try to get creative on how you do your tackles, okay? Another thing I want to talk about is chaser movement. When you have the ball and you want to evade enemies, right? Learn to use your wide of view camera. Learn to use your drift. Right? You can avoid all these chasers. I like to move like this with my drift. And when I get close enough, I can score like that. Right? But my point is that you want to evade people. I like to do a little bit of a dance mover. Alright, let's get the ball here. There you go. Oop, see that? See how I'm moving here? If they're really close to you, you can always just turn around like this and do this. See, now I've changed the position here. Basically, add some creative movement to your footwork. A nice way to say it. You can even adjust your boost. Whoops. Instead of just boosting through everything, you can adjust your boost and turn a lot faster here versus a hard turn. Alright, there we go. Good to have one chaser hang in the back and two in the near the keeper when we're going for a score. And I'll explain why. So let's get started here, okay? An actual live game. Here it is.
The players are off.
I'm gonna go for the ball here. Right, remember what I told you about the wiggling? Flip.
Go!
There it is. Remember I told you do a little bit of a wiggle dance and a flip if you want to. Oh, here it is. Looks like our friend here's gonna go for. I'm gonna hang back in case he fails to catch it.
The chaser puts the ball
Or in
through
case
the
he failed to
goalposts.
score. If he had failed to score, guys, somebody should be in the back line here. It can be your support chaser or elite chaser if need be. Because when the ball comes out, guess what? I get it first.
That is a good goal. 10 points.
You see that? Add a little bit of a wiggle and flip to the last second. Very useful, guys. Very useful. Whoops. We're gonna switch to keeper temporarily. There you go. This is a live game. This is in real time. I'm training and showing you guys this in real time. So remember I said about passing?
The players' team are going to feel that hit.
Alright, so they're in a better position than me. I'm gonna hang back here. If they fail to score, the keeper will kick it out. Look at that, see? As a lead chaser, I'll do this. Now we have the ball again.
Waffle goes in. 10 points.
So the importance of having one chaser in the back at all times is really good. Because you want to make sure you get the ball first. You can be that person if no one else is doing it. Oop, messed that up. We'll switch temporarily. I'm going to do a keeper video as well.
The keeper's
But
team
today
can
we're
rest
on
easy,
chaser, okay?
knowing she has the posts covered.
There it is. A little bit of drift, pass. Look at that, see? And he already, look at that. Oop, he missed it. That's okay. We're gonna come back here. And we're gonna try to tackle. Oop, almost.
A costly mistake takes the seeker temporarily out of the match.
Alright.
The keeper
Thank you.
stops the shot.
Alright, we're gonna add some dynamic movement here. Add to, oop, there it is. See that?
That keeper is quickly proving
Instead of me holding onto the ball longer than I need to, I pass right away. So we can at least try to keep the ball here. Alright. Come on.
goal.
Oop. I wasn't fast enough. That is A-okay. Looks like we're gonna still win.
The snitch has been caught.
Nicely done. This is the live game, so I'm showing you guys this in real time. The importance of this. Alright, so they have the ball now. I'm gonna hang back in case he fails. Alright, he failed, okay? we're gonna try to tackle out of their side of view. Oh,
The player has lost control.
there's the rings.
Down goes the chaser.
Almost.
10 points for a winning
Nicely
shot.
done.
The chaser loses her
But
balance.
you see the
and
importance
tumbles to
of
the
being in
ground.
good positioning, guys? A lot of chasers tend to not know this. They all just kind of fumbling around, hoping to get the ball first. You want to be in a good position to get a pass. There it is. And to receive a pass. I tried to do a little trick there, it didn't work. That's okay.
The player has lost control.
Thank you. See that? I gave it away.
The keeper cannot
There it
stop.
is. See that?
It goes in.
It's important to understand the value of your position. Instead of me trying to wiggle up all those chasers, I just found the first person who passed away. Also want to talk about passing strategies. Dang it. Remember I talked about out of their side of view?
Chaser capitalizes
There's
on
your
an opening.
one-timer.
Score.
Remember what I told you? I passed it and I went to position. Alright. You got it. Alright, we're gonna wait. Alright, he failed, right? That's okay. Remember, we're out here. See? Now, oh. We keep control of the ball. See that? So instead of us all being up there, I missed it. That's okay. Drift, flip.
The clock sails through the goal.
How's that for a? Notice how I drift and I point it to the top goal at the last second, but I point it at the right goal as a fake out.
But you can't
It's
fake
important
it.
to add a little bit of.
Co-commentator.
Alright, let's do this.
Hello, I'm Rita's teacher. But of course you knew that already, didn't you? It's today's
Alright,
competitive
hopefully, if you guys like this video, be sure to like,
So let's
comment,
meet
and
them.
subscribe. Let's see.
Welcome
We're gonna get the ball first.
Get comfortable. Don't forget to duck. Breaking news.
There's
the
one.
Chasers scored.
You follow that? Notice how I'm not doing just a normal trajectory shot. Matter of fact, I'll show you why. Hey. So oftentimes you'll see this.
A superb.
You see that? Why that fell?
Have we got a new star
That's the most
keeper
common
on
thing
our
I see what a
hands?
lot of new people do. Or casual players do.
Knock the wobble out of the player's hand.
Alright. So now, we're going to set up a little bit of wiggle.
Great pass.
Oh, I tried. My friend back here wanted to do a one-timer, so we'll do that for him. But my point is that you want to add your approach to be a little bit spicy. See how this person here? Look at that. All I had to do was move there,
No one
and
can
they would have
wobble on
failed
this.
their goal. Pass. I'll let him do his thing. I'll set up for a one-timer.
Stop the presses. We have
And he got it. So, one chaser should be in the back. The other chaser can be the support by setting up for a one-timer when they pass the ball away. That way it gives the chaser two options how to score.
Chaser is not afraid of close
So we'll go in, instead of being in the back, set up for one-timer.
10 points go on the board.
He got it. So a lead chaser can be in any position here, but one chaser goes to score, one chaser goes to be the support to the score, and one chaser stays in the back to get the ball
Here's
first
this.
in case he
But
fails.
where is it? The quaffle goes in.
See that?
What a shot. Great work, Chaser.
A good trick you can do to score is whenever you go for your approach, if you're not sure, if like you don't want to wiggle like this, try and pick two goals, two different goals, and go for one of them at the last minute.
Keep moving it downfield.
I always pick at least 2 options, and then I kind of go from there. You see that? You see how obvious that shot was?
That was quite the block.
Sheesh. I couldn't pass it knowing in time. I can now. I missed it, but we go for one timer setup.
Stop the press.
Nicely
We
done.
have a
Alright,
goal.
good. But did you see the difference between when the other person tried to shoot and how I caught the ball so quickly versus how my approaches have been? Let's see here. You see what I'm talking about?
Hey Jordan, your favorite.
Alright, let's
Quidditch
try
commentator.
this.
We're back at Hogwarts for another anticipated game of Quidditch.
This time we plan to
I'm on the
win.
edge of my seat already, and the match hasn't even begun. The players lurch into action, eager to be the first to
So
score.
he has the ball, so we'll kind of hang back here a little bit. We'll let him go in. There it is. The other chaser over there can act as his support. We all don't need to be over there. A common mistake I see is everybody rushes over there all at the same time. That's a bad idea. Alright, we're gonna try to attack in the blind spot. Oh, blind spot not needed. Alright, nice. Hang back. Good, good.
Nothing but, well, I guess we don't have a net, but it's a
Alright, we're gonna get in
great goal.
position to... We're gonna get in position to hit someone in our blind spot. Oh. Alright, here we go. Oh, he saw me coming. But look at that, see? Now we have the ball again. I forced him to use his flip. He didn't pass. Good. Another thing when you're hiding up here, or when you have a downtime, if you see Seeker and 6v6 flying around, or 3v3, you can take that time to hit him. Alright, here we go. There it is. Oop. A little too much movement there. Try it again.
Pace of passes.
There it is. That.
Passing the bubble.
There it is. You got it.
Lines up the shot.
Look at that. Bam. Now, I could have went for the shot there, but I chose to go ahead and pass it out. We kept our movement clean and smooth. If you haven't noticed, by the way, I'm not in any VC. These players have played enough to know. We don't have to communicate this.
The snitch is and he makes the shot.
Huh? Alright, we'll let her do that. We'll get back here. Alright, here we go. Thank you. The AI keepers are a little harder to trick, but that's basically the gist of it.
Almost there, Seeker.
If you guys can master the wiggling movement, the fake outs, the inverted shots, pass more often, the one-timers, the tackles from different perspectives, you too can be a monster in 3v3.
That snitch is so close to being caught.
A lot of times people just zoom up like this, and they just try to go for shots. A little too obvious. We can do this. We can do zoom, but look at my limited view.
Blimey, the Seeker's crash. What a shot.
You can do that, but I prefer to be out like this now. Oops.
That snitch had a good
There it
run,
is.
but you just can't
Nicely done under me.
hide from this